Okay, so now we are going to talk about some best practices and the way that I just like to organize my projects when I have like multiple applications, multiple Docker files, multiple everything. So this is the way that it goes. What I do here is that I have my project, right? So this is my main project directory. And then within that, I have one directory for each application. And it might not be an application if you do machine learning, it might be like a machine learning model or a data science model or a different analysis or like something dealing with a different set of samples. But the point is to kind of compartmentalize things and try to keep all of your individual tasks like as simple as possible. Try not to combine them and throw things together when they don't need to be together. So for instance, for this project, what I have in here is a Flask application. And, so, I mean, maybe like if I had some client side code as well, like something written in JavaScript, I would have like Flask server side, and then I would also have client side application. For this one, I just have the one application just to show you how it's going. So here we go. I have this one application, and then within here, I have everything that I need for that application, including my Docker file. So I keep each Docker file in like its own space. So if that Docker file corresponds to a Docker image that's going to be built with the files and the data and the whatever that is in this directory here, and everything is in there. So this is, like the startup script to start up my Flask application. This is the code. These are the dependencies. Everything is in here. Okay, and then I have, I'll always try to have a README, and then I have run, build, deploy. These ones, I have these specifically set as Docker image because there's only just one Docker image in here, and I wanted to keep it a bit clearer for people that are starting out. So I'm gonna get rid of this. That was for the last example. So I have run the Docker image. This is how you run it. This is how you build it. When you get to the point where you want to deploy your Docker images, like you want to upload them to Docker Hub or Quay, this is how you would do that. So I just like to have all my tasks separated out into shell scripts. And this is also really, really helpful when you're collaborating with people. Not everybody is, always up on the latest technologies, or it's not their thing, it's not their wheelhouse, whatever. So I always try to have my project set up in such a way that the person, they don't even have to know the underlying technology. They don't have to know like exactly how you go about building a Docker image, because I have a shell script right here that's called build Docker image. And I'll, send them some instructions like, hey, if you want to change the dependencies, if you want to add some apps, or you want to add some Python packages, here you go, just go and edit this file right here. So, that's why I like to have things set up the way that I do. I think that it just makes it like very easy and very clear. I mean, of course it's important to have this README as well. And I'll just go and show that. Introduction, build your image, run, deploy. I'm always gonna have these, or, I strive towards perfection. It's generally more on the progress side rather than the perfection. But having an introduction, build, run, deploy, so that you do have at least kind of pointers in the README to, okay, here are my different scripts that do all of my different things. And then I also have a Docker Compose file here. We're going to get into Docker Compose in the next module, but it's really important that you start thinking about, hey, how do I want to organize my applications? How do I want to have things set up? And because once you have that in place, it's going to make it so much easier for you to take your applications and put them in Docker Compose, and then to also put them wherever else it is that you want to put them. You want to deploy them to Amazon, you want to deploy them to a remote server somewhere, or Google Cloud, or just on your own laptop, that's fine too. But once you have that kind of housekeeping done, it's going to make it so much easier for you to really build, scale, and deploy all of your cool applications. So that's it for this model. I hope this for this module, I hope this was helpful. I hope that you're feeling much more confident in terms of like just building out your applications and getting started with Docker, and hopefully starting to see like it's not kind of, hopefully it's not as scary as you imagined. If you thought it was scary, maybe you didn't. but you know, that all of these things, they're going to keep building through the rest of the course. You're going to see exactly, okay, this is, you know, it started off like this in the Docker file, and then it mirrors this in the Docker Compose, and then we deploy it with Swarm and Kubernetes. And as long as I kind of stick to like a certain way of doing things and keep my projects organized, and I just always keep in mind that, you know, like I'm always just basically running on like a Linux server pretty much, you know, you can think of your Docker server as being like that, you know, then it's all fine, and it gives you a really powerful and really great way of doing things, because you can take this and, you know, you can take all these projects and you can deploy them anywhere. So that's it. Thanks. I will see you in the next module.